So, damn it, I was gonna do this so well. But Kobe, apparently, the 1,000-year Reich needs 1,000-year soldiers. What's going on? I'm Barry.
And this is Colby.
And that is our new entrance. No,
Movie
music.
quotes.
Movie quotes. How's it going, guys? We are at the last leg of our Nazi-themed movie month.
Yes.
And what a great way to end it. I don't know about you.
I had never seen this movie. I remember totally seeing the trailers for it and thinking I have to see this movie, but really weirdly, I have seen very few horror movies in the theater. Like, I don't know, horror movies seems to be something I sit at home with the lights off and scare myself.
Well, I think when you're at home, it's easier for you to set the mood for yourself.
Maybe.
Rather than in a theater with a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes if you wait too long, then you're like, you don't want to be the only guy watching the movie in the theater.
And then it's like double creepy.
Because if you're going to do that, you might as well lean into it and like get a really big hoodie and wear sunglasses. And then go there during like 12 in the afternoon, like early bird or senior citizen watching hours.
Right.
Which, when you've been single as long as I have, is when I go to the movies.
When I was in high school, totally not a horror movie. When I was in high school, my friend and I, we went to go see Beethoven, the movie about the giant Saint Bernard.
Oh, favorite.
And we were the only two people in the movie theater when the movie started. About 15 minutes in, two girls came in and they sat in the back. We were like right the very middle row, very middle seat.
Oh, like the primo viewing seat. Yeah.
Right. We were like, we don't have any competition. We can actually count the rows and be sitting exactly. And then it was creepy because then like they kept moving closer to us and we were all like, this is awesome. These girls, they're getting... But by the time they got to the row behind us and the movie was like 3/4 of the way over, we had realized that they were like 12. And we obviously had driven there, so we were 17-ish.
But like, what do you think they were doing?
I don't know, but it was creepy because it was like they were very quiet, and then we were just like, hey, there's people here. Oh my God, they're closer than they were. And then like 10 minutes later, we'd look and they'd be like 3 rows closer, and it was just like,
maybe they were big fans of like The Shining.
Maybe.
Because I think when The Shining came out, twins freaked everybody out.
Right.
So if you guys did not listen to our previous episode, first of all, shame on you.
Right. Stop this one. Go back. Listen to that one.
But we did J.J. Abrams' Overlord, which, a little fun fact, is actually Bad Robot's first rated R film.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like Cloverfield. No. Cloverfield Lane. The one where they're like in the basement with John Goodman. But I think, apparently it was this one. So a little brief overview if you guys haven't seen the trailer. It's a pretty cool trailer. Watch it. But this is a World War II movie, which apparently is not apparently, they're fighting the Nazis in World War II, and apparently there might be zombies.
And oddly, it is the day before D-Day.
I feel like a lot of these movies.
Yes, Devil Rock, which we reviewed a couple weeks ago, was
same mission.
Day before D-Day, basically the same mission.
Wait. Oh no, but Devil Rock came first, right? It was like 2014. But you know what? I guess like that was a lot of them. That's one of the primary missions before you invade right,
to take out their defenses.
Or no, not the communications.
Right.
Because that's what in this movie they're trying to do too. They're they're like, we can't get our communications in unless we knock these towers down.
Yeah.
Which I guess is like a pretty easy premise to like write around.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because then like your main protagonist and the main protagonist and their group has like a singular goal, and then you just build around that. Right.
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
Kobe, what were your first thoughts when you watched the trailer?
That this was going to be all out Nazi zombie warfare, and it just was going to be the coolest, biggest budget, just super hardcore zombie movie I ever saw.
It is not that at all.
It is not that.
Yeah, when I first saw this, I thought like, yeah, just like Kobe, I thought it was going to be like a Call of Duty, Black Ops, Nazi zombies.
Right.
Type of deal, because that's how sort of the trailer hypes you up for. But even though it didn't end up being like that. It was still like, you know, like sometimes when you hype a movie up, you feel like you have your expectations up to this like high level. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for this one, it just like even though it didn't meet those expectations, it still like satisfied like the whole movie experience.
Yeah.
So let's just get into the film. So we start off like they're in I think they're planning to they're dropping off all these like these warships are coming into like D-Day. These planes are trying to parachute their soldiers onto the ground.
Right.
It is a pretty horrifying experience. Yeah, but because then like, you know, like there's like not bombs, but like bullets going everywhere, other planes getting shot down.
Right, and it's definitely like you look at it and it's 30 planes and they're hoping one's going to make it through so that they can get in, blow up the communication, and then there'll be an opening for the ships to get in.
Yeah.
And then like air support can follow that.
With open communications.
It's basically like this.
It is terrifying.
Almost suicide mission where it's like, let's go in there and see if we can
get somebody to the but like, and so this whole, I think this part is like one of the only movies that I've ever seen where like, you know, when like old soldiers talk about like their accomplishments, like where they say like, oh yeah, he had 4 tours during that as a pilot,
right?
And it's just like, oh, like wow, that's kind of amazing now. Like now that you get to see it in a more sort of like, because every other war movie, it's always like they're already on the ground.
Right.
This is the first time.
Yeah, and they even make a joke about that because one of the guys looks out the window and he's like, "Oh man, look at all the ships down there. They're so close that like, you know, if bombers come out, they could just hit like ship after ship. I'd much rather be in this plane than on a ship." And one of the other guys is like, "No, so many more people die in planes. I mean, like we're just doomed." Yeah,
but just because you're such easy targets in a plane. And I don't know. I know the guy who said it. I don't know his name in there. I just call him like Brooklyn or Rhode Island because he sounds like a Brooklyn. Right. No, you know, maybe Bronx. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very New York-ish Italian.
I had to look it up because I was like, there was a bunch of movies
that he's in
like 15 years ago that had the little super New Yorky little kid, and I was like, did he grow up to be this? The kid from like Newsies and stuff. It's not the same person, but totally like sounds like him. And I'm like, I was totally like,
but like he's in a lot of films as like minor roles. That's why he feels familiar, but you can't put your nose to him or point your finger to him.
Yeah.
But it's always funny, like in like these war movies, there's always like a kid from Brooklyn, a kid from Queens, or just a very Italian New York guy.
Yep.
And he's probably like one of my favorite characters in here, just because his interaction with Paul, little French kid, later on to the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so apparently, you know, when they wake up, who is it? Boise is our main character. Boise wakes up. He sort of falls asleep for a little bit. But yeah, planes are getting shot down. They're getting closer to the conflict. So there's a lot of resistance.
Right. The ground fire.
Yeah, and this is actually this whole sequence in this scene is really cool because it's almost like a POV type of deal.
Right.
But yeah, so like the plane gets shot down as soon as everybody hooks up. We do get introduced to Corporal.
Hooks up to parachute, not hooks up like, hey,
what's
it's
up, Corporal?
potty plane.
Yeah, but then like the there's just like ground guns like tearing through these
right
planes.
Yeah, and you can see the planes around them starting to go down.
Yeah, one kid stood up and just got shot up.
Yeah, yeah, right through the side of the plane.
Yeah. Boise, and then his friend, I forgot, Rosefield.
Yeah.
He makes a comment, he's like, oh, with a name like Rosefield, what do you think they're going to do to me? And I was like, it's like a very subtle, like, Jew joke.
Which would have been appropriate back then.
Yeah. But yeah, and so, their friends is like, you got my back type of deal. But yeah, this guy stands up, he gets shot through the plane. Someone, like a medic, tries to help him. Corporal Ford, our other, like, main character.
Yep.
Tells him to get back to his seat because that guy's dead. I mean, man, did you see the size of those bullets tearing through that way?
Right.
And he stood up, and then, where do you think it went through? From ass to his brain.
Yeah, it's definitely started pretty graphic. Like, yeah, you definitely get people getting shot.
Yeah. But yeah, so like their plane gets like shot. It's like the ass end of the plane is like on fire, and so one of the like Sarges on the plane is throwing everybody out.
Yeah, so just grabbing people and chucking them out the door.
And
because they were all getting ready to jump, so they're all parachuted up and everything. But still, just to have somebody just grab you and throw you out of a burning plane is got to be a little disconcerting.
But like this portion was really cool though. As like Boise's getting thrown out of the plane, you sort of get like one of those like body cam, front facing camera shots.
Right. Of what he sees as he's trying to deploy his parachute.
Yeah, and it's like super disorienting. He doesn't know which way is up, and when he finally opens his parachute, it's like a very close call to not opening it. But at the same time, I heard like if you hit the water in the wrong way from a high altitude, it's like almost just hitting cement, right?
Right. Yep.
So but he makes it out. He cuts his like parachute line. He makes it out to land, and he just acclimates himself to the whole situation because I mean at this point he's very disoriented.
Right. Yeah. Because even when he hits and he's underwater, and then he has to cut himself free from the parachute, and then he swims up and he's underneath the parachute and he kind of gets trapped under the parachute. It like kind of makes a surface.
Yeah. But yeah, he gets back onto the land and he starts to make his way inland, and then he runs into Corporal Ford, who drags him down to the ground, and we see Sarge, who earlier was making a big speech in the plane about trying to take these brats down, or brats or Krauts. Yeah, but now he's surrounded by like at least 10 of them, and so Sarge, knowing that he's fucked, he takes a cigarette out and he goes, "Do any of you Krauts have a lighter?" And then he gets gunned down. Okay. But it was a pretty badass way to go out, just
right.
I mean, you're gonna get shot. He did not look like the type to beg for his life.
Right. So why not ask them to fire?
But at this point, like, Boise's pretty upset at Corporal because he said we could have helped them.
Right, and then, but you could tell Corporal's been on a number of tours, and he knows the ropes, and he knows when it's a dire situation, you don't stand up and try to help the one person when they're surrounded by people with guns.
Yeah. I mean, and the way that he's been through it is he has a scar on his face. It's the easiest way to let you know that you've been through shit. But at this point, Corporal, he's very mission oriented.
Yes.
He's like, Sarge knew what the mission was, and saving his ass wasn't it.
Right. Yeah, we're not there to save him. We're there to bring down the tower.
Which is like a pretty harsh reality, but I mean, it's not like he's wrong.
Right. Because you got what did they say, like 120,000 people that were arriving in 8 hours,
yeah.
and they need that communications to be down, or else they're just going to be sitting ducks.
Yeah, and so like, what's one like very Spock mentality?
Right. Yep.
That needs. But yeah, so they start to press on. They actually run into Brooklyn, Chase, and Novelist. And sort of like orientate themselves again, like like they're figuring that like they're the only 5 left,
right?
So they start to make their way to their checkpoint, which is going to be this small French town where the tower is held at.
Right. Yeah, just outside from where the tower's at.
Yeah, and so at this point they're like walking through. They're trying to they're getting to know each other. I mean, Brooklyn and Chase, and it looks like they were all from the same boot camp.
Right. Yeah. At least a few of them know each other.
Yeah, Corporal is the one that's like sort of like he's like on a second tour or something like that.
Yep.
But this is like like in every war movie there's like a time that they're always like getting super relaxed, or it's like not relaxed but like careless.
Yeah. Letting
their guard down. And one of the kids, Novelist, is talking about how he's gonna like make a novel from boot camp to the end of like the war, presuming that he makes it to the end of the war. He's talking to Chase, or the photographer. He's like, "Hey, let's hook up." And then before he could finish that sentence, he steps on a landmine.
And yeah,
which it was a pretty good like blow up scene.
It is impressive.
And it's like so sudden too, so it catches you off guard. And so like the movie lets you know like it's not that kind of movie.
Yeah, it definitely takes you off guard, because like I did not. I got relaxed with them.
Yeah.
And totally did not expect that. Like maybe somebody gets sniped or something, but yeah,
stepping on a landmine.
Yeah.
Because like when a person gets sniped, it's usually like really quiet until like the moment of impact. But even that, it's like a little soup.
Yeah. Yep.
But this one was. Which is like a really good like I guess you really gotta give it to like the director for being able to set you up in that mood, and then
he does it a number of times throughout this movie.
Yeah, and there's always like this classic scene where like there's a huge explosion and the main character is like waking up, but he has that sound ringing through.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean I've never had an explosion bigger than an M80 close to me, but I've certainly like I know that like I've gone shooting and not worn headgear, and after a couple shots you've got that boo, kind of like running through your ear. I can only imagine after an explosion you'd have that close momentary deafness. Yeah.
But they gather themselves up and then they make their way to the forest. But in the forest they see like a French woman. It looks like she's just walking around.
Right, and that's another weird scene because they're now being very cautious, and they come across like a pile of weird bones.
Oh yes,
and they're all kind of like looking at it, and then just out of nowhere, this like French woman walks through the forest.
Yeah, which like so I read a book prior, like a long time ago in high school. It was like about like a samurai, like the Edo period where they used to have samurai showdowns. But like they even did it like back then too, where like villagers would scavenge the battlefield.
Oh right, no, it totally makes sense. Yeah, I mean,
but it's always gonna be like strange and like kind of creepy if you're like a soldier and then you run into someone scavenging in the dead of night.
Yeah.
But then like they chase her down because she's probably been in war for like a couple of years now. And so she just sees soldiers, and she's obviously gonna leave or like run away from them.
Right.
But Boise catches up to her. She cuts him. Corporal stops her. This is where you learn that Boise actually knows how to speak French. Tries to tell her to calm down.
Right.
Like whoa. Corporal says, "Oh, we got a translator." But he's like, Corporal makes her take her to the town.
Yes.
To the town, right?
Yeah, and now we've basically got a tour guide.
Yeah. But before they can get to her house, she gets caught by Miss Lesnar.
Just screaming neighbor.
Yeah. God damn it. Why? People are so goddamn nosy. But yeah, what's it called? Chloe is her name. Chloe Laurent. She tries to tell Miss Leslie, like, don't, I'm going home. But then the snitch neighbor that she is, this is the neighbor that calls you on noise complaints.
Yep.
Fucking bitch. Calls like these soldiers over, and then she gets taken to her home.
Because it's a French town, but it's under German occupation, so there's a whole bunch of German soldiers. Sundown curfew, and you're not allowed to be out of your house.
Yeah.
After sundown.
Yeah. Boise, he escapes the whole situation and meets up back with his squad. As they're trying to figure out what to do, Chloe finds them and brings them to her house because she wanted to make sure that they weren't pigs like the Germans were. But like, yeah, so this is like sort of the portion of like a good chunk of the movie where it takes place because they use Chloe's house as a base of operations pretty much. And like this movie takes place within 4 hours. Within the span of 4 hours. So it's like, it's weird, but it's like, I don't know how I felt about it, but it's like, man, a lot can happen in 4 hours.
Right.
But as they go upstairs, Chloe, they hear like a little growling sounds, and they're like, "What's that?" Chloe remarks that it's my aunt, and she's very sick. But like creepily, the door is a little open.
Yeah, just a touch.
But then they
and it's
don't.
not like coughing hacky sick. It is like.
It is like a feral animal
transforming into a werewolf sick.
But they make their way up to the attic, and they set up. Corporal wants to see how many explosives they have. He sends Chase and Brooklyn out to the rendezvous point to see if any other soldiers made it.
Had survived.
And then at this point, oh god, what happened? Yeah, he tells Boise to go downstairs to make sure everything is clear. But so as Boise goes downstairs, he goes down the hallway because he keeps hearing the growling aunt. Yeah. And this is gonna set you up for like.
Right. It's coming, but it got me anyway.
But you can see that the aunt is like severely disfigured at this point. She's like, her skin is like almost black. Right?
Yeah. And lumpily bumpily.
Yeah. But a little funny thing that I didn't really talk about is like as they came into her house, she has a little brother named Paul that keeps like freaking out Brooklyn. And so like they started to like develop this small like friend like relationship throughout the movie.
And it's so weird. It's because the little kid loves baseball, and in the movies like this, it is so stereotypical that the person from Brooklyn is a big baseball fan.
Was he?
He hated baseball.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But like, he kept trying to have Brooklyn play with them, like play catch,
right,
and all that stuff, but he just wasn't having it at the time. But yeah, so Chase and Brooklyn go to the checkpoint to make sure everything, to make sure if there's going to be any reinforcements,
and to kind of check out the how fortified the gate is at the church and stuff like that. Yeah. Just kind of do a once over.
Boise go downstairs. He talks like him and Paul have a moment too, where like Paul like rolls the baseball towards him. He like picks it up, sniffs it. Paul looks at him like super weird, like. But then he speaks French and says, it reminds me of home.
Right, yep.
And, like, this is where we learned that he's, like, from Louisiana. His grandma's,
right, I
like,
thought that
Creole.
It was, when he first started talking French, it was, like, a weird, like, why would this person know that? But then he was like, oh, yeah, my grandma's from Haiti, and she came to America, and she lived in New Orleans, and there's the French Quarter in New Orleans where, like, there's so much French being spoken. Of course he would know it. Yeah.
Because she mentions that his French is weird.
Yeah.
Right? But it's also because, it's like a Creole type of French.
Yep.
Which is like a really cool like way to like explain why this soldier knows French.
Yep.
It didn't feel forced. It was just like his backstory. But at that point, Sorry.
And it was something that they certainly didn't need to explain, but it meant a lot that they did.
Yeah. But then like a bunch of German soldiers roll up towards Chloe's house, and then so Boise and Paul they run upstairs, and then through like the floorboards they're looking to see what's happening.
Right.
But apparently this German lieutenant or whatever, Waffner.
Yeah,
I think is his name. Apparently, he visits Chloe on a nightly basis.
Right, at least when he is on that tour.
Yeah.
Of inspection.
But then we get this. Yeah, we get this whole scene where we know that this German soldier has been taking. Like that he's been taking advantage of her.
Right.
And all that stuff. Yeah, this is where you learn that. Like her parents were taken by the soldiers to the watchtower. Earlier in the film, you see that like people are being dragged out of their houses to be taken to the watchtower.
Right, and if they
go there, they don't make it out.
Right, and if they fight too much, then they get killed.
Yeah, and so yeah, all this is happening. They're watching through it. She's trying to resist, but he's saying that like, oh, if you resist, I can just take Paul. And so. Like he starts to force himself upon her, but Boise, being who he is, he's a pretty soft person, stops it.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely like he's a soft person, but with boundaries.
With what?
With boundaries.
Oh, like, boundaries. I think you said brown glaze. I was like,
he's covered in gravy.
Well, yeah, because earlier in the film, when they first make it to the house. Brooklyn is chastising Boise because he couldn't kill a rat that was in their bunker,
right,
and stuff like that. But then, like Chloe thought that it was like actually a really sweet story that he wasn't gonna kill this animal who's just living,
right.
But at this, so this is why he, he stops the rape from happening. Pretty much. Corporal's super pissed because now like their timeline is cut in half probably. Now they have to kill this guy. You can't just let him be alive.
Right, yeah, there's no way to let him go. And now if he is a higher up, so he will be noticed if he's missing. Yeah, if he's gone.
But then he does like before like all this happens, he does tell like his little platoon to like go away because he is going to be spending the night. So they won't be looking for him at least until morning.
Right.
So they have that time frame,
or at least an hour.
Yeah. But yeah, so Corporal tells Boise like go get Chase in Brooklyn and bring them back because now we have a situation. But as Boise's trying to make his way through the town to go to the rendezvous point. He sees outside of the watchtower that they're bringing like sort of dead bodies, I guess, or just like it looks like very sick people, and then they're just burning them alive.
Yes, yeah.
So he's like more concerned about that, and so as he's trying to make his way to the rendezvous point, he actually runs into a rabid dog, and ends up running behind into.
That's right. I was like, how did he get into the back of the truck?
Yeah.
But that's right, the dog was.
He ends up getting into like this back of the truck where there's just a whole bunch of dead soldiers in it, and first he freaks out. I mean, I think my first situation, my first concern is like, did I just hop into the back of a bunker where there's just a whole bunch of soldiers, and I'm at their feet? But no, it's just a whole bunch of dead ones. So he ends up actually infiltrating the compound without.
Almost on accident, yeah, because he kind of pulls some dead bodies over top of him, and so that when they look in, they don't see him.
Yeah.
And then they go through a series of gates, and then they're into the church, and that's when he makes his. Now he has to make his escape. Now he has to figure out a way out, but ideally, figuring a way out is also going to be a way to figure a way in.
Yeah, and for later.
And so Ford.
Yeah, for Ford. And so at this point, he's sort of just trying to find his way out. So like but he's starting to make like all these discoveries. He's looking through these holes. He's seeing that people are like first being held prisoner, but then like after something happens, they're like totally mutated. He finds like this secret lab downstairs, and he actually runs into Rosefield, who's on a sort of like one of those medical tables,
right,
and stuff like that. And so like, and then he like hides for a bit because they enter, and then they see that he gets injected. One of like these dead bodies gets injected, and it starts like convulsing, and all that stuff. So they leave. He takes he gets Rosenfield, and they make an escape.
And on the way out,
But before that, he ends up taking one of the syringes.
Right.
Because he's like, what is this? And so he has a lieutenant that can answer that for him later. And you know what? This guy is a much better person than me. Because I watched this the first time with one of my friends. And I was like, hey, if you're on that table, I'll just whisper in your ear that I'll be back. But it is pretty painful when he makes his escape with him, because he has like this huge tube like under like one of his ribs.
Right. And
it is like sewn onto his skin.
Yeah.
And it's like
so they have to rip it off of his skin, and then as they pull it out, it's a good 6-inch long.
It's like an epidural.
Yeah.
Like needle, like one of those spinal needles.
Right. Thick as a ballpoint pen.
Yeah. And so like he's covering his mouth because he's just like yelling underneath it. Man. Yeah. I was just like, oh my god. Because it's not only is he pulling it out, but he's also ripping the stitches from his stomach. I mean, all right, Kobe, you know, if you were on that table, I will come back. I just feel okay. No, I would probably risk it for the biscuit, but it is.
You'd be like, here's a gun. I'm gonna hand this to you, and then I'll be back.
But it's just like, man, when you escape with someone that's like sort of injured, it's just like it lowers down your chances of actually escaping
by so much. Yeah,
by so much. But he finds a way out through a grate,
right? Which
he luckily kicked in, and I'm surprised that no other soldier like heard him kicking.
I guess it's just because there's enough cells in there that have these mutated things
that
are banging on walls that it may be overlooked. That's how I had to look at it.
Yeah,
because I thought that too. I was like, oh, they're just gonna draw attention.
Yeah,
and I was like, and you kind of in the background kind of hear banging and stuff too. So you're like, oh, maybe it's
just normal now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But it was I thought it was like really smart. Like, so as they're escaping, he replaces the grate back.
I know. So not typical movie.
Well, this movie acts like, you know, like how you would think in that situation. Is like, well, you have to get back in here anyway, so might as well have an entry and disguise it.
Right.
Or like, you know, but all I can think about as they're going through like this sewer problem is that, man, that guy must have that little injection thing in his thing. It must be infected by now, because there is doo-doo water probably spraying into that area. But when they get back to the house, which it was another endeavor in itself, that he has to go through the town
right
with his friend, like, groaning. They do clean the wound.
Yep.
So there's like a lot of like really small things that like this movie just does.
Right, that remembers to do.
Yeah, so like I think so, like that way, like no one can be like, oh, well, he should have an infection. But at this point, we go back to the house. Corporal Brooklyn and Chase are just talking that like, yeah, Boise's probably got caught. He's probably dead by now. At this point, Paul is copying everything that Brooklyn is doing.
Total mimic. Yeah, it's a little mini me.
It's pretty cute.
It is.
Yeah. Chase takes a photo because it is like one of those like photos that you would like see from like a war photographer.
Yeah.
You know, during war, like, oh, there's like these small like little beautiful moments type of deal. Corporal Ford is just like, oh, we got to move out, but we need information from this German guy Waffner. That's when Boise comes in, and they're like, holy shit. Boise's freaking out because he's like, oh, well, during his whole little incursion in the church, he finds a woman speaking, but she has no body.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And that was like a really just a cool little small part in the film that you didn't like.
It just totally glazed. Yeah, over. It was like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but it was like super creepy though.
Yeah.
It's just like she's like, was it it's like I think she was saying please in French, please help me in French. But yeah, so he's like, I think Ford slaps him.
Right.
A good old classic wartime slap. But yeah, at this point, they're trying to extract information from Waffner. Waffner provokes Chloe, saying that, yeah, we just did to these villagers what we did to your aunt. She stabs him in the leg. And at this point, Ford is like done with it. And so he's beating the hell out of him.
Right.
And Boise is not really into it.
So they have to remove him from the room because
he's too soft.
Yeah.
Brooklyn looks like he's like, oh, it just reminds me from back home. I'm not saying that he's comfortable with it, but it just looks like it doesn't faze him as much.
Right. Yep.
But I guess some people are just they switch on that mindset that this is war. And we need to extract information from this person.
We've got a job to do. So
and Ford has like this really sweet brass knuckle knife, and he's just beating the hell out of him. But he does whisper to Waffner, "This time I win," which I thought like they had previously tangled. But maybe it's just like a general term that he's saying.
Because when he stopped him from raping the girl, the German said something like that, like, "You may have stopped me, but you're not gonna win."
Oh, okay, so I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so Boise's just downstairs because he can't be in that room. But at this point, they're formulating a plan of attack to take down this tower because Ford has never forgot the mission after that.
Right.
Chloe says that there's a car in the garage that we can take. And then so they tell Chase to go get Waffner, who is still strung up and with the bag over his head. And so he's like kicking him to make sure if he's like awake or not. He figures he's not, so he cuts him down. But then this is where he makes a mistake. He gets taken over by Waffner.
Right.
His gun gets taken, and then he gets shot. Super sad scene.
Right.
You feel bad for the kid because he's a coward throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, and it felt like this was the one thing he could do because he's just gonna have to untie.
Yeah, untie this beaten soldier.
This unconscious person.
Yeah.
And he just totally gets.
He totally dies.
Duped.
I mean, he's just a photographer. That's like that was his main mission.
Right, and then you get his little like, can I get my camera?
Yeah, and he dies with it. Brooklyn is just beating the shit out of Waffner. And so now they're just trying to fix the situation. They pick up Waffner because they still need him. But then Boise, he hits him with the injection.
Right.
Because Waffner didn't give any information about it prior to...
Right, yeah, he was like, I'm a soldier, I don't know what goes on in the labs.
Yeah, but then there's like a moment of silence, and then Chase, the photographer, the one who just got shot, shoots back up. And everyone is just like, what the hell?
Right, yeah, what's going on? You're dead.
Yeah.
And he sticks his finger into the bullet hole, and he's like, it doesn't even hurt anymore.
But he's like, oh, I'm so hot. I'm so thirsty, And this is like, he starts to slowly freak out. Yeah. And he's like, my head hurts.
And it is a super creepy kind of transformation into this zombie monster thing.
Yeah, he swings his head back so hard that it breaks all the way.
Yeah. And then it's like collarbone kind of pops out. It is...
It is pretty horrific. Yeah. It was like it seems like these zombies are sort of like Nemesis from Resident Evil because they're just like bones are like gonna like poking out. But at this point, Chase still has some resemblance of his former self.
Right,
because he's like, what
he
did
can
you
still
do to
talk.
me?
He can still, where like the aunt is definitely, she's just a wandering, growling mass.
Yeah, but yeah, so Chase ends up like beating all of them up until what's it called? Until Corporal shoots him through the back.
Right.
But then this is where Waffner says 1,000-year Reich needs 1,000-year soldiers, and then Chase gets back. Oh my god, gets back up. But before he could attack Corporal Ford, Boise stops him, tackles him, and then just bashes his brains in
with the butt of his gun till his brains are no longer in his head.
Yeah, but this is probably like one of the first times you've ever seen Boise act so aggressively, so almost like raw, like instinct based.
Yes,
because
it is now almost like he's seen enough horrific stuff that he knows
what he needs to do. Yeah,
this is no longer like I'm doing this for my country, but it's the Germans must be stopped.
Yeah. Corporal Ford pulls him away, tells him that it wasn't Chase anymore. It wasn't Chase, to sort of ease him, calm him down, and make sure like his conscience stays as guilt free as possible. Because I know like during those type of like situations, it could start weighing more heavy and heavy and heavy.
Right.
And so, but at this point, Waffner escapes, takes Paul, and then we have this like it was a pretty good like a gunfight scene, where before they can get away, Ford catches Waffner in the face. Yeah, and it was really cool. Is like, if you watch slowly, you could see the chunk of his face fly off.
And it's a pretty good gun battle. Well, Brooklyn's in the window.
Yeah, because he's a sniper
from the attic, and he's
and he's a good sniper too. But yeah, at this point, Chloe's freaking out. She wants to get her brother back, so now they have to sort of speed up taking this tower. Corporal Ford is saying that no, we just need to take the tower. The kid is just a casualty of war.
Right.
But then,
and this is the first time that there's like dissension.
Yeah.
Between them, and it's yes,
yeah.
No, we need to take the tower down, but
we also need to grab this kid.
Yeah.
Because it's our fault that he got grabbed anyway.
Right.
This is probably the first time Boise has been able to yell at Corporal Ford.
Right.
You know, this is and so at this point, Brooklyn. This is the first time Brooklyn sides with Boise, saying that we could just grab the kid as a bonus.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like saying like, I mean, we could take down a tower, but if we grab the kid, we could walk away from this feeling way better. You know, Rosenfield's finally he's pretty healed up enough to fight.
Right.
And so they formulate this plan to how they're going to get into the church. Chloe acts as bait. They capture one of the German soldiers, and they send him to the base with, like, duct tape over his mouth and his hands tied.
Right.
And
it was pretty clever, yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, if I saw that, it's like, I'm not pulling that. I don't know what's in your mouth. But, you know, it's still the 1940s, you know. They haven't seen that many movies yet. But, yeah, they do pull it, and then, I guess, like, in any soldier's pack, there's just duct tape.
Universal item. I think probably...
Oh, is it in? It is in the soldier's bag of holding.
I think so.
A roll of duct tape. But yeah, with the duct tape being pulled off, comes off the pin from a grenade, and in his sidecar, which I always wanted to get a motorcycle with a sidecar.
With a little, yeah,
it's pretty awesome. That's where you put your dog. Is another bag of explosives, and then we just get the whole front of the base just blown up. All these soldiers caught in the crossfire, or just the blast, and it's a pretty gruesome scene.
Right, and then you got Brooklyn and Rosenfield kind of set up in the distance, sniping off people.
Yeah, because then like they needed them to be grouped up because it was going to be the easiest way to take them all down.
Right.
And so of course, all these soldiers are coming to the front trying to see what's happening. So while all that's happening, Ford, Boise, and Chloe are making their way through through the sewers to where Boise had escaped previously.
Yep.
Chloe, of course, not wanting to set up the explosives for the tower first, goes off to look for her brother.
Right, immediately, yeah.
Immediately, because...
And Fort says that, too. He's like, we knew she wasn't going to stay with us.
Yeah. He knows what type of woman she is.
Yep.
She is super hot in this film. I'm not going to lie. But there's a moment where, like, she goes into a corridor, surprises 2 German soldiers, and she's like, "Where's my brother?" They know who she's talking about. But
they play dumb, yeah.
One of the German soldiers like plays lax because her hand is shaking, and so he thinks that he can overtake her before the gun goes off. But no, he gets it in the face, and I was like, I've never been turned on so much. I think it's a culmination of like the accent, her being able to take care of like people,
right.
But
it's a little Sigourney Weaver badass from like Aliens.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. And so the other soldier is like, oh shit, she means business. While that's happening, Ford is like setting up the explosives in the watchtower, and he sends Boise down to the lab to set up the explosives down there as well. But as he sets it all up, he puts a timer down. He turns around. This is where we get Waffner, who actually made it.
Yes.
From like the whole face being shot earlier. This is where like in that scene he injects a whole bunch of that serum into his body, and this is where we first learn that the doctor says that the serum hasn't been tested on any living subjects yet.
Right.
So
and little did they know.
Yeah.
It may wake a dead person, but it makes a living person into a super soldier.
But in a super soldier that just goes pretty crazy.
Right.
So
he pulls out a Captain America shield, and he no.
Waffner almost could have just been the Red Skull. Half of his face was gone anyway.
Right.
But he starts beating Ford up, and then during that whole scuffle, you see Ford's face start to like form back a little bit, little by little, which is pretty. Like, it was actually really well done.
Right.
It was really subtle, because they didn't do like a close up of it or anything. They just let you see it happen. During that time, Boise, he gets caught by the doctor.
Yep.
But he overpowers him. I mean,
right, because the doctor's old man.
Yeah, it's a fat German doctor. Oh, I'm not saying anything about German people, but he's a German. But yeah, it's like, he kills him.
He's a trained soldier versus like a 70-year-old overweight scientist.
But yeah, and this is where you see that, Boise's doing what he needs to do, and he kills him. Yeah. Because it's either him or the doctor. So he's setting it up. After that, Chloe is being led by some other guy, by the German soldier from the hallway. He opens one of the doors that Boise had seen were like prisoners and all this stuff that have been hit with the serum. She gets tricked. I was like, why would you go deeper into that door?
Right.
But
it was the only part of the movie where I thought, oh, don't make this be that movie.
Yeah. Because I was like, if it was me, I was like, yeah, go in.
Yeah.
Go right. in. Yeah. But then Boise saves her. Beats him up, and as they start to escape they go through the lab that Boise had just set up with explosives. Oh no, he hasn't set it up with explosives yet. I'm sorry. Because then they find Paul in there. But as they were running away from the earlier scene, you see the German soldier, get dragged in there, and presumably got eaten. I'm thinking. Right. So, but they do find Paul in the lab. And so Boise tells Chloe, like, leave now. I'm going to blow this place up. And so that's when he finally sets the explosives up. Right. Chloe starts to escape, gets Paul out, but then she gets dragged away by the zombie.
So it was the soldier that was dead that got brought back to life while he was in there trying to save his friend with the...
Oh, yeah. But it is pretty gruesome. He kind of looks like that one dude from the Goonies. What was his name?
Chunk? Oh, not Chunk. Sloth.
Yeah, because like his face is like super mutated. It's like a little bit bubbly.
Right.
Yeah. So
and he's missing an arm, but it's like weird.
But he's using the broken bones as a stabby thing.
Yeah.
Stabby stab. But Chloe is a pretty. This is where we get the Sigourney Weaver vibe, because she makes her way out of that whole situation, runs away. But before she runs away, she sees like a flamethrower, and it's pretty. We get a pretty badass like flamethrower moment.
Yep.
And this is sort of like where you learn that the only thing that could really kill these things is fire.
Right. And then it makes sense because you kind of think back a little bit, and that's why they were like, as they were pulling the bodies out
earlier,
they were burning them.
Yeah, because like the way Chloe escapes is she like headshots this thing like 4 times, and then it just gets back up, which is like crazy. As that's happening, we're getting Ford fighting Waffner. It's a pretty brutal fight too, because then he ends up getting leather faced, and by that he gets a hook through his like sternum, and then like it resting on his rib cage.
Yeah,
which is like you kind of like trying to imagine the pain. It was terrible.
Yep.
But Waffner is telling Ford like, this is I feel like a god type of deal. Boise shoots
and then he
him.
yet again turns that line around, and he's like, it looks like this time I win.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of callbacks to earlier things in the movie. But Boise tries to save him, shoots Waffner in the chest a couple times. But at this point, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
And so Waffner is trying to kill Boise, but at that time, Ford unhooks himself from the meat hook thing.
Yeah, climbs the chain.
Which is like so badass, though. Falls to the ground, and he gets the syringe, and he knows what he has to do to at least have a chance against Waffner. So he stabs himself with the serum and saves Boise from being killed, because at this point Waffner knows Boise fancies Chloe. Right. I guess he felt the tension. Well, he's the one that saved her from being raped. Yeah. So this is where they have a good old super soldier fight. Now it's a super soldier fight because they weren't dead.
Now we got Bucky versus Captain America.
He can't be Bucky. He's Red Skull, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Waffner's. Yeah, we get Red Skull versus Cap.
There we go. Yeah.
So they go through like a whole fight. But at the end of it, I was about to call him Captain America. Ford rolls, I guess, an oxygen tank to his feet. Waffner laughs, but he doesn't know that Boise's right there pointing a gun to it, and it explodes. Right. Waffner falls into like this dark pit which he had talked about, that this small French town didn't know that this like fountain of power or whatever was lying beneath them, and that the dead bodies of the villagers is what helped fortify this serum or something like that. Right. But he falls into that pit. Boise tries to help Ford to escape, but then Ford throws him out into out of the thing and locks the cage. Yep. And says like probably like the most like one of the most like not heroic. Oh, I guess pretty heroic thing, because he's like, we can't let either side have this type of power. Yeah, because he knows, because he has it in him that he knows how dangerous it's gonna be. Right. And so he tells him, he's like, I need you to. I didn't get to set the charge into the watchtower, so I'm gonna blow this place up. It needs to stay buried, but I still need you to finish the mission.
Stay on target.
Yeah. It's fucking badass. This guy's so badass. Who Covey has said is Kurt Russell's son. Right. So as Waffner makes his way out of the pit, he takes one of the Claymore charges and he just lights it up with Waffner's lighter. Right. And he says, looks like I don't need this anymore. And as the soldiers that Waffner had woken up were running down to him, the whole place blows up. Right. Boise, a man of his word, sets the charges in the watchtower. And this is probably like one of the cooler, like more recent little escaping scenes from falling or exploding.
It feels like a Tom Cruise Mission Impossible escape,
or even like a Harrison Ford Indiana Jones.
Right.
Because this whole place is just collapsing around him. It's explosions,
and he's running down the hallway, and it's just boom, boom, boom behind him. Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah. But while that's all happening, Paul runs out into the street where Brooklyn and Greenfield were having a firefight.
I have to say, when that happened, I was just like, oh, sorry, Paul. Sorry, we tried. You were just gonna walk out into the street where people are shooting.
He's a scared little French kid.
We don't need that.
But this is where you knew Brooklyn. He's like one of those like toughs that like he looks all tough outside, but he has a heart of gold. Because he makes his way out into the firefight, tells Rosefield to cover him, gets the kid, brings him to safety, but gets shot in the shoulder.
Yeah.
Which like when I saw that, I was like, oh, he's gonna be okay. It's only the shoulder. But they almost get everyone killed, and then that's when Chloe runs in. Pretty badass, and just like finishes the rest of them off,
mows them down.
Tommy gun style.
Yep.
But then and so this is like that's what they're doing. She's helping fix up Brooklyn with his gun. By that time happens, Rose they turn on the radio, sees that the communications is back.
Right.
And this is where Boise, he's like walking back into town, looking pretty like shell-shocked almost.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but he sits back down. I thought at that point, like, Chloe was going to run up to him and, like, make out with him.
At least give him the soldier kiss.
Yeah. But yeah, you could already tell that there's something going on with them because before Boise told her to escape, there was, like, this tension,
I don't really want to leave you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, then we get the whole wrapping up of the movie. The U.S. soldiers set up camp in that town. Boise's given a report saying that they're gonna join another company.
Right.
To further on. Brooklyn is playing poker with the kid. And it's pretty adorable because like while Brooklyn has like a match in his mouth, so does Paul. Rosenfield's like he's finally being able to recover. Chloe, who I assume is now just gonna become a medic, is like patching up soldiers.
Right.
And then Boise says like as he's giving out the report, he says like, why did you blow up the basement too? Corporal Ford said that it was just the best to get rid of the whole building.
Right.
And then he asked, like, is there anything down there that we should dig
out? Yeah.
And Boise's like, nope, there's nothing down there. And he's like, all right. Because I figured, like, there's no point in wasting manpower during that time.
Exactly, yep.
And then the movie is like, it goes to the end. Boise's like, yeah, we got to take it to Hitler. And then we can go home. And then he looks over to Chloe, who's patching up a soldier. And I was like, yeah, they're totally gonna fuck. And then the movie just pans out to a sweet Nas song. Oh, man, Chloe.
That was the only... It sounds so dumb. It's the only thing in the movie I didn't like. Was you don't finish a World War II movie that is very period specific all the way through with like hardcore
rap music.
That was the weirdest, like.
Well, okay, you gotta think about it, right? Yeah, Boise's from Louisiana, and it's a very jazz themed rap song.
They could have ended it with jazz. I could have bought that.
I don't know what,
but
jazz...
something more
of the time. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what way you could have ended. What did you want? The MASH theme song? I don't know.
I don't know if that would have worked, but yeah, I'm like.
Okay, would you have? Okay, so if it was just instrumental without the rap, would it have been fine?
Probably.
Yeah. See, because I feel like that the instrumental to that song fits sort of like not the theme of the film, but it feels very
like you
jazz.
say, a little jazzy, yeah.
Yeah, but just the rap music is sort of what threw you off, right?
Yeah. Or at least start at jazz and have like a big intro, and then like 30 seconds in, but it was just like immediately like
rap music.
Rap. And it was just like what?
Which Kobe is not saying that he doesn't like rap music.
I don't. I don't say that. I am a fan.
It just didn't fit
I definitely
his
had a
taste.
period in my life where I was like all I listened to. So I don't mind, but it was just in this specific movie. Like
it felt off for you.
Right. Like if like one of the Furious movies, Fast and the Furious movies ended and then rap right as soon as totally like of course that fits. That is what I expect. Like if jazz music started at the end of Fast and Furious movie, I'd be like, what the hell?
I was gonna say Celine Dion. But Kobe, what did you think after watching this movie? What did you think of it?
Oh, I absolutely love this movie.
Yeah. What are your favorite parts?
It was very, very different because, like I said, I expected like full on zombie infestation, and really, you got the photographer that they brought back, and you got the one zombie that got let out of the cage.
Mm-hmm. And Waffner.
Waffner was still
he was
alive.
A super soldier.
So
yes.
he was. So it's really technically two zombies, and neither one of them lasted more than
the auntie
2 minutes.
Yeah,
and the auntie was still.
No, she was dead. That's why, remember, because that's why the doctor said we haven't tested the serum out on anybody alive yet.
Oh, okay.
So technically, she was a zombie.
She was a zombie. Okay, so 3. 3. But yeah, but being that, it was a very well done, very dramatic World War II movie.
Yeah.
The casting was great. You got to know and like all the characters in a very short amount of time. Mm-hmm. I definitely enjoyed it. And there was jump scares, but it was not horror movie like every 5 minutes. There was maybe 4, but they were all placed well, and all 4 of them got me.
Yeah. Even though you knew they were covered.
Right.
See, I'm not really usually I'm not really a big fan of like war movies, just because it's like you've seen one, you've seen them all type of deal.
Right.
But this one sort of gives you like a nice little like twist on it. I think anything like I'm not really a big period piece type of movie. That's why I like movies like Forbidden Kingdom kind of like keep me entertained, and like this movie too, where like there's like super soldier / zombie like serums
right
out there, but it's also just like really well shot, really like well paced, like we talked about, like when we got comfortable with the characters, that's when an explosion happened. We definitely got like small themes that have definitely happened in like wars where like Chloe was being taken advantage of. There's like people are being experimented on because so like it touches
and that was definitely a German thing in the war. There was a lot of
just taking like live subjects, because during this time they can do these weird experiments, and it's just like, oh, it's war,
right?
We're trying, so there's like a lot of like things I liked in this film that worked really well. What were your favorite parts of the film?
Certainly that the first landmine. It was definitely one of the most memorable parts. That was just totally took me by surprise. And then man, like the final battle was just great. I'm like, because that was another thing. Like I did not at all expect him to inject himself and make himself a super soldier and then battle it out. That was just, that's not what you see in a zombie movie. You see, we're running from zombies, let's make a trap so we can escape.
My favorite, my favorite parts of the film were just like these little drop of stories about Boise, showing how soft of a person he is, how much he values life. You know, because he says to Chloe, I was just mowing the lawn back home and then I got drafted.
Right. Yeah, 3 months ago I was mowing a lawn, and now I'm in a foreign country.
Yeah, that the whole a rat story or the mouse story, and just how compassionate of a person he is, but still he goes into this part of him goes into where he knows he needs to end this, and he has to do what he has to do.
Right.
But he doesn't lose the compassion part of him. Right. I love the whole relationship between Paul and Brooklyn. I like Chloe in this because she's totally not a damsel in distress type of deal. She's a pretty strong female character that gets overlooked.
Right, absolutely.
As not overlooked in this film, but overlooked as a character in this film. When women are when women want more stronger female representation,
right?
She's totally just
but without being over the top. I mean, it was a very realistic, strong woman who was I have to be strong because of where I am to protect Paul, to protect my aunt.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, at that point, I think she knew her aunt was a freaking zombie, because when she was setting up the trap, she just lets her aunt get killed. But prior to that, she didn't know her aunt was a zombie. So.
Right.
But yeah, she's just a very strong female character. So, and it was super sexy.
she's a cutie, yeah.
Well, not just her physically, but her whole as a whole character. Right. It was wow.
Yeah, she was cute, and then
I could just
and
imagine
then she was strong, and then she was smart, and
I could just imagine myself buying sweater vests.
She could cook a rabbit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could just imagine myself buying sweater vests already because I could be a stay-at-home dad. Kobe. Probably one of my favorite. Also, my favorite parts is Chase's transformation. That whole sequence. I mean, the part where when he broke his neck, that part when they do a shot of his face, you could tell it's CG, but it's only momentarily, like a CG shot,
right?
Because then it snaps back up, and then he just has these his bones sticking out of his skin.
Yeah,
but it's not piercing, but you could tell it's definitely broken. It's a pretty horrific transformation.
It is definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are probably my favorite parts in this whole film.
And it was, there was a lot of practical effects. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that they could have done CGI, but they didn't.
Yeah. Waffner's shot up face.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, there's these small little details you definitely appreciate. When he gets shot in the face, you see a chunk of his face fly off at the edge of the screen. That's cool, man. Kobe, so we're going to our rating portion. Just to let you know, just hope you guys remember that we have added an extra rating, which is Stream It, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad movie, but it would we wouldn't spend money on having a physical copy. So it's Stream It, what was it called? Used DVD, new DVD, used Blu-ray, new Blu-ray, and Ultimate Collection, or just a special edition at this point. Right. Kobe, what would you put it at?
I don't know what extra you would get on an Ultimate with this, but I would definitely go new Blu-ray on this. Right. This is, I feel like this has definitely got replay value.
Oh, it does.
There's enough going on that definitely you could watch it in the background. I think you probably want to watch it straight through once, but then you could have it on the background afterwards. But enough creepy stuff that you could have it on you're doing a Halloween party or definitely share with your friends.
It'd be really cool if they did have a special edition of this, if it came in a leather bound cover for Novelist's
Right? Something like that.
DVD or like these movie companies need to hire me so I could just design these special edition cases. But yeah, definitely it would be really cool. Like I feel like it would have sort of like a mini comic type of deal in it, like an animated comic.
Right.
But yeah, I would definitely get this new Blu-ray.
So when I was kind of reading into this, sorry, side story, they did do a cut version of this to try to get it to be PG-13 because they didn't think they'd get enough audience with an R rating, but they did opt to go with the full R rating when they released it. So I don't know if anything ever happened
in the PG?
With that PG-13, but it would be interesting to see.
There's probably just going to be like a lot less blood.
Or maybe that's going to be the TV version
when
they sell it to sci-fi or whatever.
Well, I feel like they probably wouldn't have, like, they might have like cut it like a couple of scenes out, like the whole rape part.
6 minutes, I think they said cut out to reduce it to a PG-13.
It's probably that rape part. Like that, yeah. Like it would probably just like cut from like him entering and then like maybe him forcing himself, but not like to the extent that it is in the rated R version.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I would totally get this new Blu-ray. This is my second time watching it, and it didn't feel like stale, like how some movies do after the second run. And then you start to be able to notice like all these small things in the movie, these small remarks that are funny.
Right. Yeah, because when you get to like a super... I mean, even though it was a lot of story build-up before you
get to the actual...
There was still so much that happened that, like, definitely give it a second or a third watch because there's got to be things that you just missed because there was so much going on.
Yeah, so I definitely, it's one of those films that you want to show people because it's like, oh, this movie's so good. It's such a good war film. Like, what if type of...
Right. I mean, it was really well done. Like I said, the great cast, good story development, good pacing.
Yeah.
I am very surprised it was not a bigger hit than it is.
Yeah.
I really hope it kind of goes into that cult status and
definitely
has a second life now that it's on DVD.
Yeah.
Or on Blu-ray streaming.
Man. But yeah, I hope you guys, we're a little bit past our hour mark. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. We're not too sure what we're gonna do for next month yet.
We'll surprise you.
We'll do like a little mini announcement on like Twitter or something to let you guys know. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Barry.
I'm Coley.
And this is Who Watches This. I don't think we did the full intro at the beginning. Guys, the theme song is by Lee Rosevere. It's Arcade Montage. You can find it on fma.com under the music album Music for Podcast 3.
Thank you.